So we had some pretty big news the other day. We got some answers about why Mohnish Pabrai sold Alibaba. And he gave two explicit reasons in a recent interview. I talked about this on a live stream that I did the day after this information was released. In that video, I covered Pabrai's rationale that he gave for selling his Alibaba shares and what he's going to do with that money. And additionally, I covered some of my thoughts about the whole situation. I also tweeted about the situation the day that the information was revealed. So if you want to stay up to date with things like that, then give me a follow on Twitter as well. There's also a topic in this video that I cover exclusively that I didn't talk about in the live stream. So stick around to the end to get a look at that information. All right, here's the clip from the live stream. I hope you enjoy. There was some pretty big news last night. So the guys over on the Everything Money YouTube channel have released an awesome 4-part interview with none other than Mohnish Pabrai. And in the portion that they released last night, Pabrai talked about kind of what everybody has been waiting for him to talk about, which is the reason why he sold Alibaba in the first place. Pabrai said that there are at least 2 reasons why he actually sold Alibaba. And the first reason, which is something that I think a lot of people suspected, was not that he lost faith in the quality of the business of Alibaba, but the mere fact that the price went down so much that he had an opportunity to take advantage of the tax losses. So he was effectively using tax loss harvesting to lower his taxable income or taxable investment income. So number one, pretty straightforward. Not something that I'm personally interested in doing, but to each his own. Pabrai is handling a lot more money, so the tax implications for him actually make a pretty big difference on a net basis. In the interview, Pabrai actually talked about how he made this Alibaba investment before he had studied the business of Tencent. So if you've been paying attention to any of Pabrai's talks recently, you would see that he is basically in love with Tencent, especially compared to anything he said about Alibaba. He has had heaped high praise on Alibaba, calling it an apex spawner, saying that the leadership is great, the business is great, it's better than Amazon. But it's number 2 in the eyes of Mohnish Pabrai when it comes to Chinese tech companies. So that's the second reason why he ended up selling Alibaba. To invest in a different company. And he's not investing directly in Tencent. He's actually buying Prosus, which is owned by Naspers. So that situation is kind of sticky. I have a video that I'll post at the end of this video exploring that Naspers situation a little bit more. I'll also post that down in the video description if you're interested in learning more. But basically, Naspers owns about 30% of Tencent, and it has a subsidiary named Prosus, which is listed in Amsterdam, that sort of holds all of the international holdings for Naspers. So basically, investing in Prosus is a way to access Tencent at what many are considering a discount. And plus, you get the core business of Prosus, which is pretty much a VC for investing in early stage companies. Hopefully, get a few opportunities at moonshots there. Tencent, Pabrai has talked about this business being a two-prong approach, where basically on one end we have the software business where you hire as many devs as you can, continue to build products that have high margins, high returns on capital, and once the growth for that business is done for the year, then Ponyma takes all that money, dumps it into basically the VC firm where Tencent just invests in small non-controlling stakes, usually in early stage companies. They have investments in companies like Pinduoduo, for instance, but they do own other companies. And they have a knack for investing large portions into video game studios such as Epic Games and companies like that. So they do all sorts of things, but it's more of a growth-oriented approach compared to, say, maybe you could compare it to Berkshire Hathaway, where they use the insurance float to make these equity investments. And Tencent is using their proceeds from the software, their software business to buy into these early stage companies where hopefully there will be a little bit more of a growth trajectory for them. So, Pabrai, number one, tax loss harvesting, something I don't know if the average investor really needs to get involved in, but definitely do some research on that before, if you decide to take any action there. Number two, Tencent is the more attractive business. So after he sold the Alibaba position for the tax losses, he felt no need to buy back that Alibaba stock, because after 30 days, you can buy back that same stock and still reap the benefits of the tax loss harvesting. But he ended up loving Tencent even more and thinks that it's pretty undervalued. So that's kind of the rationale that Pabrai gave. I would highly recommend you go check out the full interview over at Everything Money, and I'll definitely link to that in the video description below. It's a great interview, a great bunch of intelligent guys, and it's awesome to see a tried and true YouTube channel actually getting access to Mohnish Pabrai, because he's usually traditionally given interviews to business schools and business groups and things like that. So I think it's great that he's really opening up the opportunity to more content-focused types of investors, which is great. One of the things that I didn't cover in the live stream, which I'd like to clear up, is something that's very pertinent to shameless cloners, or just any type of cloning in general. One of Pabrai's key points in this portion of the interview was that there is not a very strong signal coming from when an investor sells an investment. So it's pretty obvious that when an investor buys something, it's because he thinks he's going to make money on the investment, which I think is pretty self-evident. But there could be 100 reasons why an investor will sell a position. And in this case, we can see Pabrai gave two pretty clear and reasonable answers to that question. But we could have speculated 50 other reasons that he sold Alibaba, and it's not something that we can predict. So take the selling action with a grain of salt as far as conviction or things of that nature. Basically, Pabrai had two great investment opportunities. Alibaba was, the one that he knew about first and thought it was a great business. The price went down. He's trying to save some money on his capital gains. But in the meantime, he found an even better investment. So it doesn't mean that he's lost faith in the Alibaba business. It just means that he prefers the Tencent opportunity and still thinks that it's undervalued. The concept of opportunity cost should always be top of mind. So, if you find another investment opportunity that is going to work out for you better in the long run, then that's probably the one that you should go with. And that's evident with Pabrai's strategy here with Chinese tech giants like Baba and Tencent. I hope you enjoyed the discussion of Pabrai's motives for selling Alibaba, his investment strategy going forward with Prosus in order to access Tencent as an investment. I do live stream from time to time, so if you're interested in hearing my thoughts or asking me questions, I do those periodically, so please hit the bell on the notifications so you can get updated when I go live. But fear not if you can't make those live streams, because I will be releasing clips like this of the more important, impactful information that I cover in any of those live streams. I get a lot of great questions in these live streams. I don't always have a wonderful answer for them, so I'm constantly learning, and hopefully it'll be a good opportunity for you to learn alongside me. If you like this video, you may want to check out this video over here where I talk about why Mohnish Pabrai is so enamored by Tencent. You also might want to check out the situation going on with Naspers and Prosus over here. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. I thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate you watching this all the way to the end. I will see you in the next video, and have a good one.